everyone. It's Dakota from Everyday Life, the channel where we talk about everything in your life and mine. How is everybody doing today? In these times where Diddy and Trump and now Jay-Z is all in the news, every hour on the hour, new information is coming out. You go to sleep, you're here, you wake up, we have something else. Well, as we all know, Jay-Z has been named as Celebrity A in the case, the graping case of the 13-year-old Jane Doe, who has now been named. She is no longer anonymous. And I was just doing some scrolling, and I came across an interview by the name of Ronnie Bo. Ronnie Bo. Ronnie Bo used to be in the music industry. He was a rapper, but he went down the wrong path and got entangled with Jay Z and end up in jail in Chicago with R. Kelly. And turns out him and R. Kelly shared the same cell together for 30 days, where they tried to collaborate, on some deals when they got out, but things didn't work out. But Ronnie B here, he's telling it all. He's not saying alleged or anything, but I'm saying alleged. But he's telling it all about the things that happened to him when he was hanging with Jay-Z. Some of the things I'm not going to say, I'm just going to let Ronnie say them. So you guys have to hear this interview. If it's true, it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective. He even wrote a book, and he says the book is free for you on Amazon. I am going to get the book and read it. I think he said you have to go into Amazon. Oh, and you know what? He actually left his phone number because he said that he was getting blackballed everywhere. People that were interviewing him had to be shut down. His contact information wasn't going out. But it's so interesting. You guys have to hear this interview. Okay, in a recent exclusive interview with Hip Hop News Uncensored, R. Kelly's former cellmate Ronnie Bo made a shocking revelation about Jay-Z and their interaction in the time that they were incarcerated together. This interview was hosted by Oh God and Sam Ain't. Shout out to Oh God and Sam Ain't because it was a good interview. The interview delved into dirty secrets of R. Kelly, and boy, are they dirty. Do not go get water. Don't go to the bathroom. Just listen to this interview. Okay, and R. Kelly shared a lot of things with Ronnie Bo. R. Kelly was worth $1 billion at one time. Just I think it was $1.2 billion. And then he got locked up because of minors. Okay, Ronnie Bo disclosed that R. Kelly was originally set to collaborate with Tupac on an album, Best of Both Worlds. That was the name of the album. However, due to Tupac's untimely demise, the opportunity passed, and Jay-Z, who was on the rise at the time, stepped into the shoes of the late rapper legend and aimed to surpass their success. Whew, that was a lot, but wait until you hear this guy talking. He don't seem scared. He's dropping bombs. I don't know. It's everything's alleged, So let's start this video. You guys tell me what you think. I heard my comments were closed. I gotta fix that. But let's see here. Okay, stop. And here we go. Bam.
They moved me to Unit 19 where R. Kelly was at. He opened up to me about a lot of the inner workings in the music industry. Basically admitted that he sold his soul. And Jay-Z hired a hitman to me, and I did get shot.
What are the reasons that he's saying Jay-Z should be incarcerated?
Similar allegations to what Diddy's locked up for. My name is Ronnie Bo. I had a career in music until I got incarcerated back in 2010. I was reviewed on the top 40 charts for Lil Wayne and Young Money stealing one of my songs. Then once I got locked up, I kind of lost my passion for rap and started writing books. I started writing about how music influenced the minds of the youth, and I kind of lost my passion for rap because it's like I was rapping about the same things that influenced me.
How did you end up connecting with R. Kelly? Was it the previous prison stint, or have you gotten out since then?
June of 2019, I had to turn myself in because I produced a rap song entitled Whack the Rats, and I actually mentioned a real federal informant in the song. So
it's a bad idea.
Yeah, the government basically issued a U.S. Marshal warrant out for me. I turned myself in to MCC Chicago. R. Kelly got indicted, and he ended up in MCC Chicago with me. I wanted to write a book on the behalf of R. Kelly to get his side of the story, like to basically counter the narrative of surviving R. Kelly, which was a docuseries on the Lifetime. I mean, they moved me to Unit 19 where R. Kelly was at. So at that point, I was able to like communicate with him every day and negotiate doing the book with him every day. We kind of became friends or associates or whatever you want to call it. He opened up to me about a lot of the inner workings in the music industry. He basically confirmed that I really don't want to say it because I promised his brother Bruce Kelly and other family members of R. Kelly that I wouldn't speak on certain things, but he basically admitted that he sold his soul, and he tried to deliver that message to his fans in the music video. I wish, it's a skit in his song. I wish, not the remix, but the one he did by himself. And in the skit, his mom is deceased, and in the skit he was speaking to his mom from the sky, looking up, saying, "Ma, I want out of this, but it's hard." And she replied from the sky that what worth is it for a man to conquer the whole world but lose his own soul, which is a quote from the
Boy, ain't that the truth? Why gain the whole world, everybody controlling people, all the money when you have no soul? Because at the end of the day, and the end of the day is once you reach 50, 52, 53, you need a soul. Let me just continue. I'm not going to go off on my soapbox.
Bible. He was trying to indirectly let his fans and the public know that I got myself involved in something that I didn't know I was getting myself into, and technically sold his soul, and he wanted out.
Can I ask a question? When you say sold your soul, I mean, that can mean different things, like sold your soul to the industry, sold your soul to the devil, sold your soul to who?
Most people think it's conspiracy theory, but according to R. Kelly, the top executives in the music industry actually really practice evil things such as devil worship and selling your soul. And you technically have to like sign your name in blood and do some like certain humiliation rituals for them to trust you. I mean, they like, for example, a sex tape came out about R. Kelly like around 2001 or 2002, somewhere around that time. And he was allegedly on a sex tape with a 14-year-old girl that he was peeing on.
Yeah.
And I learned that was actually a humiliation ritual. Like they doped them. Like, for example, Diddy has certain.
Can somebody tell me no, really, the excitement that a person would get from peeing on somebody? I mean, it's humiliating to both parties, but what is the excitement that a man, I guess, or a woman, but probably most a man, would get peeing on somebody? This is a valid question. I am not trying to be funny here. So, like I said, I hope my comments are open, but I'm going to go into my studio and check it out. Let's finish.
chemicals in his baby oil. Like, you can rub this on somebody and they could get high from them. They can become sedated by this. And sometimes they might put something in your drink, or they could touch you with something or rub something on you, and you're not in your right mind. And then they have certain people seduce you. I really don't want to say that he told me this himself because of certain reasons, but basically he had to do certain humiliation rituals, and he was sedated, so he didn't know what he was doing, but it was recorded. So the way that these executives work, they will have you do something like this, whether you're aware of what you're doing or not, and record it and say, well, if you don't comply with this agenda, then we will expose you to the public and ruin your life. We can lock you up. We can bring all type of lawsuits on you. We can take your catalog and basically ruin your whole life and your whole.
Just like what they did to Diddy, right? You go from $1 billion to being in a jail cell. It seems like it's effortless to them. It seems like it's something that they have practiced, they've mastered it, and when it's your time, it's your time. It's been said that Jay-Z, his time is done. He's 55, 60 years old, and it's time for him to move on to the next person. But my thing is, why can't a person just move on? Why does it always have to be, we're going to make you move on, but move into jail? But you know what? I guess it seems like what they do is when people are young and dumb and impressionable by all the money and all the limelight, then they'll do anything. Just think back when you were 18, 19, 20, 21. You did anything because you don't have the brain, the capacity to understand the effects of your short-term decisions, how they're going to affect you in the long term. So that's how all these people get caught up. Okay, let's continue.
Whole career. However, if you comply with us in this agenda, then we'll make sure you stay successful and at the top of your game. And despite what people believe about R. Kelly, but he tried to be a stand-up guy, and he didn't want to comply with certain things. Certain people like Jay-Z are in total compliance with these people. Like Diddy was in compliance with him. He was a federal informant, and he was conducting certain humiliation rituals and having other celebrities and artists do the same thing.
Yeah.
And the moment he tried to step outside of the boundaries that they set for him and sue some very rich, powerful people, then it's like, okay, well, we put you in this position, and now we're going to show you we can take you out of this position. And they did the same thing with R. Kelly, basically.
I'm wondering, so the Diddy thing, that the allegation is that he sued a liquor company that's actually owned by like BlackRock or something like that, or
yeah,
and that upset them, and so they went after him, right? And what did R. Kelly do? Where you're saying he stepped out and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be a part of this." What was his specific thing? Did he do something specific, or did he just say, "I'm not going to be a part of this anymore"?
Yeah, he didn't want to be a part of the behind the scene activities that go on in Hollywood. And he tried to be a stand-up guy, as I just mentioned. And
R. Kelly probably chose to save his booty. So, he was messing with Aaliyah, who was 15 or 16, but he's probably trying to save his booty. So that's probably what got him in trouble. So we'll see.
He basically didn't want to comply with the agenda, and then he went as far, just like Diddy's situation. When it boils down to it, it's about money. And in our R. Kelly situation, he found out that he was worth $1.2 billion. He wrote songs for Michael Jackson and other major artists in the music industry, and that's not even including all the hits that he had. So he was basically the most valuable individual in the music industry at the time. But although he was technically supposed to be his net worth was supposed to be like $1.2 billion, he realized, well, I'm barely a millionaire. So he wanted to renegotiate his contracts and get what he felt like he earned. And once that happened, then it's like, okay, well, you probably don't remember this, but we recorded you having sex with that girl, and you might not know that she was 14 years old. But at the end of the day, we have this tape, so either you're going to comply or we're going to expose you and lock you up. And that's what they attempted to do at the time. He somehow beat the case back then, but even if you get a victory against, win certain battles against them, like it's a war with them, and you can win battles, but they looking at it like, okay, you think you got away with that, but we'll eventually get you again. And
yeah, you may have won the battle, but we'll win the war.
Absolutely.
Right.
And basically, that's exactly what happened. They started basically turning the public and his fans against him with all type of allegations, especially when the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries came out. They basically painted the picture that he was a monster, and
yes, they did.
he abusing women and locking them in cages and basements and mistreating them. And
yes, they did. We thought R. Kelly was the most horrible celebrity that we had ever met. He had all kinds of women in that house, feeding them when he wanted to feed them, not letting them go. The thing I remember is he wouldn't let their parents come to visit them. Did they have Stockholm syndrome? Could they have left? What was the draw? I don't know. Let's continue.
so he lost the support of the public from that. And so once they seen that, well, you don't have nobody to support you anymore. People looking at you like you a creep, a monster. Now we can bring these charges upon, and everybody gonna believe you guilty. The jury is likely gonna find you guilty because 9 times out of 10 they probably watch Surviving R. Kelly too. So in their minds, you're already guilty.
So how long were you locked up with it? Did you end up writing this book? Did you end up writing the entire book? Like, what happened there? I mean, you're in the unit with him. How's that progressing? Like, are you guys meeting every day? You taking notes? Like, what happens with that?
Well, yeah, I was only on a unit with him for 30 days, but within that time, I got a lot of information out of him, but he still didn't want to sign the agreement. I just found out through Jaguar Wright that not only was he writing music, but he was writing like movie scripts and stuff like that. And
speaking of Jaguar Wright, everybody thought she was a little off. Everybody thought she was crazy. But don't you guys notice everything, well, a lot of things that Jaguar Wright says, they come true. It came true about Diddy. It came true about R. Kelly. It's coming true about Jay-Z. Everything she says. So she was spot on. Let's continue.
And he told me basically, I want to write my own story, my own book. I want to put out a movie about this. And if I sign this agreement with you, then I basically just gave you the rights to do what I want to do for myself. So he didn't want to do it. And then it was rumors circulating around the jail that it actually started off as jokes, like people saying that, oh, Ronnie Bo trying to extort R. Kelly into a contract. And then the joke became rumors, and then the rumors got to the correction officers and the security staff. So they started looking at me like, we got to watch you now. And they eventually separated me from Unit 19 where R. Kelly was at. And I went to Unit 23 at MCC Chicago, and we kind of lost touch, but I was still able to send him kites through certain people. He was able to send me kites through certain people. So we were still in communication, but it was difficult to communicate with him after that point because of the separation.
So were you able to write the book?
Well, I still wrote a book based on things that he told me, and I actually published that book a couple of months ago. And it's more in depth than just R. Kelly. The book is entitled Challenging the Illuminati. And I put a lot of work in that book. It took me blood, sweat, and tears of experience to be able to have the mindset to write the book. I literally spent thousands on information that I put in the book. It's actually available now on Amazon, and I set the price at $100 because the information in there is so valuable. Like it's worth it. Anybody who read it will see that it's worth it, and it's untold stories. People will learn exactly what my relations to R. Kelly was in the book. But speaking of that, I've actually, although I made it for sale on Amazon, I actually been giving it out to fans for free. And in my last few interviews, explained to the audience that since I've been going viral about the things I know about the music industry and certain people in the industry, just so happened by coincidence or conspiracy, they keep restricting my pages. So it's been hard for people to follow me and keep up with me. So I actually gave out my number in my last few interviews, and I want to do that again, which is the number is 414-810-9090. And anybody who texts or calls for the book, I'm going to send you the ebook for free. Again, it's available on Amazon for $100, but for your audience, the people who are subscribed to you, they comment, like, and send me a text saying, well, I'm subscribed to Matthew Cox Show, and I'm going to send everybody the ebook for free. And it's definitely a lot of information in there. It's a lot going on that will intrigue people to actually read that book.
All right, so I mean, we can also put your phone number and your email in the description.
Okay.
The description box. Did R. Kelly tell you anything about like Jay-Z? Like, how does the Jay-Z situation tie into this? Because I mean, I read the police report and I watched one of the other interviews, so I'm wondering about that.
Well, at the time, Jay-Z started becoming the face of hip hop after the death of Tupac and Notorious Big. And the music executives in that industry realized the impact that music, especially rap music, the impact that it can have on the minds of the general public, society, especially the youth. So they put Jay-Z in position to influence and mislead the culture. And these are some of the things that was confirmed by Kelly. Even with R. Kelly, they wanted him to basically focus on producing songs that stimulate sexual desires. They didn't like when he was putting out songs like I Believe.
Now, check this out. When he says that they wanted R. Kelly to put out songs that gave people sexual desires. Now, listen to his next statements. I never thought, I mean, I knew that hip hop was not good for young, like teen boys or girls with the B words and, all this and the cursing and talking about 5-0. And I knew all that was not good. But listen, I never understood, I understood how hip hop can mess up a culture. But listen to this. It's amazing the way he worded this. This is the most important part of the interview.
I can fly, or inspirational songs like I Wish in Heaven I Need a Hug.
You know what? I'm going to back that up a teeny bit because I want you to get all of that.
Well, at the time, Jay-Z started becoming the face of hip hop after the death of Tupac and Notorious Big. And the music executives in that industry realized the impact that music, especially rap music, the impact that it can have on the minds of the general public, society, especially the youth.
Yeah.
So they put Jay-Z in position to influence and mislead the culture. And these are some of the things that was confirmed by Kelly. Even with R. Kelly, they wanted him to basically focus on producing songs that stimulate sexual desires. They didn't like when he was putting out songs like I Believe I Can Fly, or inspirational songs like I Wish in Heaven I Need a Hug, because they wanted to influence the public to be over sexualized and have a bunch of babies by random women, which basically destabilize the household. When you got multiple kids and you're not in the household with either of these kids, The kids just they need a mother and a father in the household. So that will cause them to grow up misguided, misled, and that's a part of the agenda in the music industry. Not
Isn't that amazing? That's a part of the music industry to tear apart families. So, by music, that shows how strong music is. I could not, he said that so eloquently. I could not have said that better myself. But is it the music industry's fault or is it our fault? Just because somebody's playing love music doesn't mean that we have to lay down with every Tom, Dick, Harry, Sarah, Pam, Joanne, have all these children out of wedlock, only mothers raising them, no fathers in the house. Okay, so who suffers? The kids suffer, the women suffer. I don't know if the men suffer because I'm not a man, but he said it so eloquently. But nobody's putting a gun to people's head saying, listen to this music, have S, and have children. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm not blaming the industry. I'm not blaming R. Kelly. I'm blaming the idiots who will just listen to music, have S, don't use rubbers, don't get married, don't give a damn if their children eat or not. That's who I blame. Okay? I don't go around to the sides saying, well, maybe this could have happened and then that would have happened. Nope. God gave us a brain and people are not using their brains. And the fact that the industry can influence people by stupid music. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love music. I do. But music is not going to make me change the direction of my life. Okay, so I fast forward a little bit. Now he's going to talk about Jay-Z a little bit. And this is off the chain. Let's continue.
and that Jay Z and his associates knew about this, and to stop or prevent the publicity stunt, they tried to either kill me or send a warning shot. I got shot in the shoulder,
Ooh.
but it could have easily hit my heart if I wasn't
Mm.
moving a certain way. So
So,
it
all right. So look, wherever you were at, you were somewhere where where the informant says that Jay Z knew you were going to be and hired someone to kill you. So,
What?
how far away was this person? Did you see the person? Like, what was happening when you got shot? You just walking down the street, or you're standing in a parking lot and you just boom took a
yeah,
bullet? How far away is this guy?
I didn't see where it came from. And again, like I was allegedly in Brooklyn, New York. Like I can't confirm anything on a public platform, but did you look up and read the court documents about this?
Yeah, but you're saying you're going with allegedly. So I'm saying, and I understand that. I'm not asking you to say like where you were standing. I'm saying were you in a parking lot somewhere? So you were somewhere and you're doing something and boom, you get shot. So what is do you know who the informant is?
I don't. And he's listed in the court documents as a confidential informant. It just says CS1, which means confidential source, and I definitely don't know who it is, and I really think like in my indictment, a DEA agent, again by the name of Timothy Gray. I won't mention the informant because I could be violated. They have some type of protective order on the informant, and I can't legally mention his name, but they had this dude making up false allegations about me that I was indicted on. And it was actually,
This is another informant.
yeah, and it's similar to this situation though. Like the my indictment was based on statements from DEA confidential informant who was actually a friend of mine at the time. I just can't say his name, but he
Okay, well, don't say his name. We don't want you to get in any more trouble. Okay? We're going to just fast forward this a little bit more so we can wrap this up. I don't want to bore you guys, but even though it's not boring at all, he's really dropping bombs, and this is his story. Okay, let's continue. I fast forward a little bit so we can get to a little more Jay-Z.
Other allegations. The hearing was actually for allegations that pistol whipped somebody, and that my daughter's mom allegedly told them that I'm still selling drugs. So that's what I went to court for October 3rd. But after that, at the hearing, that is, the judge said, if you come back to court on February 4th, I'm going to give you 120 days. If you come back with any more allegations, then I have to send you back to the feds. So after that, that's when this confidential source supposedly went to federal authorities saying, well, I have allegations that he traveled outside of his jurisdiction to do a publicity stunt, and he was actually shot there. And he basically saying he knows who did it, as if he was a part of that circle, some part of Jay-Z's circle.
So after you were shot, I'm assuming you weren't allegedly shot. You were shot. You were shot. You said you were shot in the shoulder. Like, I mean, did you go to the hospital?
Yes.
Why didn't doesn't the hospital typically, when someone's been shot, notify the police?
Well, see, I didn't go to a New York-based hospital for certain reasons, and as I stated in the court documents, I wasn't in Brooklyn. I have to stick to that story.
I understand.
And
we don't have to get into that. Like, I'm just saying, in general, you did go to a hospital, and you were, and so they notified, the police were notified, but they couldn't. They didn't know about all this other stuff. So you just said, what? I was walking down the street and someone shot me.
Basically.
Okay. And so there's nobody to really look for. They write up a little report. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere. You can't give them any information because you don't have a clue who shot you. Yeah. Okay, I'm just curious. I'm not trying to get you jammed up or anything. Okay, so I wonder where the FBI's investigation into this guy. Like, this guy wouldn't have come forward and talked to them about this whole thing. He has to tell them how he knows the information. He has to, if he's close to them, like you would think, they would either he was already an informant, or after or during this whole process, he decides, I need to say something. And at some point you would think they would say, listen, like, if you feel like if he's not working with them already, they would definitely convince him to work for him. Because if you go and you tell the police something like this, you've already made the decision. I'm all in. I'm going to go to the authorities. I'm going to tell them exactly what happened. You have to know the authorities aren't going to say, hey, thanks, good citizen, and let you walk away. They're going to say, well, how do you do this? Oh, really?
Okay, so that was Matthew Cox. Okay, this guy here, he's Matthew Cox, and he's the one who was interviewing Mr. Bo, Ronnie Bo. So I just wanted you guys to, because we're hearing from all kinds of people. Jaguar, Misha, who turns out to be a big fat liar. We're hearing from all kinds of people, and I came across this interview, and I thought it was interesting. He seems to know a lot about R. Kelly and Jay-Z. He don't seem to be good friends with Jay-Z. So this is just another piece of the puzzle. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys, and like I said, shout out to Mr. Matthew Cox for this interview. And this is Dakota, and I will talk to you guys later, because from what I understand, there has been, of course, we know there's a 13-year-old Jane Doe who accused Jay-Z, but from what I understand, there's another victim out. I got to do some. I just don't even want to like really say it unless I say alleged, because I'm not sure, but I heard that it's a possibility that allegedly there's a second victim. And like I said previously in another video, if it was just the one Jane Doe, the one 13-year-old girl, then, maybe Jay-Z and the lawyers, the accuser's lawyers, could get together and mediate and come to some conclusion, which would probably be Jay-Z paying the little girl. But if multiple people come out, it may just turn into the same old Diddy story. All right. I know there was something else. So Jay-Z says this girl is lying. Do you guys think she's lying? I don't know. But everybody, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And thank you to the people who have already subscribed. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back later. So everybody, please have a great day. It's raining here, but I'm going to make the best of it. Okay. Goodbye.